Hey, what's up, everybody? It's just Charles Advancer, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And folks, yeah, this one is bad. This is really bad. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. So Kawhi Leonard, Steve Ballmer, and the Clippers are in the news for all the wrong reasons. All the wrong reasons right now. And Kawhi Leonard's integrity is in question right now. Serious question. Because the reports are the following. Essentially, this company, Aspiration, got Kawhi Leonard a deal or whatever, a sponsorship for $28 million. And Ballmer invested, I think, $50 million. And that money was supposed to go to Kawhi. And he was supposed to do nothing. He wasn't supposed to do anything and all of that. So that's kind of been the conversation. And what I've been trying to understand is, did Kawhi Leonard in fact do this? Right? Is there truth to this? Now, Pablo Torre has provided various nuggets of evidence, like, you know, the stipulation in the contract that says that one of the clauses that he has to remain a Clipper and all of, like, just crazy stuff. So this morning I was watching a conversation between Pablo and Mark Cuban, who had also said some things on the internet. So Mark Cuban went on the show to talk to him. So they're talking, and I think around the 20-minute mark, they get to the part where Pablo begins to outline or trot out some of the pieces of evidence against Kawhi Leonard, where they were showing Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers' involvement in this deal. And what he started showing was email correspondences. They started to show the part where Kawhi Leonard, you can even see his signature signing off on this deal with the company that they created, I think KL12 or something like that. And I'm like, wait a minute. They showed his, like, so Kawhi actually signed on. He signed it. If what they're showing is real, Kawhi actually inked that deal. So Kawhi actually said, I'm going to sign up for this $28 million and I don't have to do anything. And you could actually see his signature based on what Pablo presented in emails between the Clippers and these guys. I'm like, this is absolutely insane and devastating evidence. Devastating evidence. But before we even get into our findings, today's video is brought to you by our sponsor, Game Time. One of the things I love the most is making unforgettable memories with family and friends. And one of the things I hate the most is overpaying for tickets only to find out that there was a better deal out there. That's one of the reasons I started using Game Time. Game Time is the easy go-to app for last-minute tickets to sports, concert, and theater events across 60+ states in the US and Canada. Game Time saves me time, money, and stress by curating only the best deals, so I'm not wasting a whole bunch of time scrolling through overpriced tickets. Game Time Picks is my favorite tool. It highlights the best value seats instantly. No more guesswork, no more wasting time. For example, I'm really looking forward to watching some of these NBA Summer League games. Here's what I like to do. I choose between the cheapest deal, the great deal, or the amazing deal. Once you select the ticket you want, you can use their panoramic seat view to ensure you know exactly what you're getting before you buy. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the app, create an account, and use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Again, create an account and use redeem code CLNS for $20 off. And remember, whenever you support this sponsor, you're supporting this channel. Thank you. So what we want to do now is we want to play what Pablo had to say to Mark Cuban. And at various points, we want to show you the pieces of evidence, the email correspondences, and Kawhi Leonard's signature with the company and all of that. So I want you guys to watch it. Be on the lookout for those various pieces of evidence. And then we're going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen and watch this.
In that same case of DeAndre Jordan, which of course involved you with the Mavs and Steve Ballmer with the Clippers, why was Steve Ballmer's Clippers team fined $250,000 by the NBA for reportedly, offering a Lexus endorsement, arranging a Lexus endorsement, according to reporting, to DeAndre Jordan?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even remember that part happening. That part I don't even recall.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
it did happen, though. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying it didn't, right? That would have been dumb. Like, look, if I'm wrong on this and you're right, then Steve is not as smart as I think he is.
Well, I'm team bricks, Mark, I guess is what I'm saying here. I'm team bricks based on the reporting, right? So I mean, I don't want to cut you off because I actually want to
No,
know what you're about to say. I just feel like a really smart guy can be so desperate to get a star player that justifies the entire
you're right.
mission of opening a privately funded stadium to compete with the Lakers specifically, who were competing with him. And in fact, when it comes to a bunch of scammers who maybe he didn't know were scammers in 2021, but clearly saw them as aligned with him on, we're going to help you do what you want, to the point of him helping with business development. The whole idea of, did he have zero idea that these guys that he was dealing with on a day-to-day basis, CCing with the CEO of Intuit, according to emails that we found? Is it possible that that guy would have no idea that they were paying $28 million for a no-show job to the guy who was his most valuable employee, while there was also simultaneously in that same timeline a $300 million 23-year contract being struck between the company Aspiration and Steve's baby, the Los Angeles Clippers, that also had in the document that we acquired the contractual language outs at every turn for him to not do anything. And in fact, none of it was ever reported until today. You're saying that that's plausible to you?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, look, the that happened at the Mavs that I had no idea was happening. And people didn't think that that was marginally feasible because you can't pay attention to everything in every deal that you do.
Why did Kawhi Leonard take less money, do you think?
Maybe he had that deal in hand and that was his reason. I don't know.
Because I have 7 sources that say it was to circumvent the salary cap, plus the documentation that suggests that that's exactly what happened.
Well, the documentation is the contract you're talking about that says if he no longer plays for the Clippers, right?
Yeah, among other things,
Yeah. I mean, I can make the same argument that the scammers benefit as much because of their sponsorship.
Wait, can you explain that one?
So in every huge sponsorship deal, you get tickets, you get appearances, you get all kinds of ancillary shit, right? And the better the team, the more valuable that is, right? All of our sponsors are going to want to have access to Cooper Flag. Everybody wanted access to Luka, no matter what, right? And part of us getting those bigger deals was giving people access. And so the better the team, the better the stars, the better the value of the sponsorship.
So are you in dispute at all that the deal Kawhi signed in that document, as reported, to the extent that you've seen it, that clearly was to circumvent the cap? It's merely that Ballmer was not aware of it. That's the argument that you're making then.
Right. So
who would have known about it at the Clippers then?
who would have known? Well, wait, no, I don't think anybody knows about it necessarily at the Clippers.
Nobody would have known about the fact that Kawhi Leonard?
You're not. So my logic is different than yours.
So you saw it for yourselves. This is crazy. Now, I won't lie to you. I don't understand why one would do something like this when you're already getting paid tens of millions of dollars to play in the NBA. The only way this makes sense to me is that my understanding and how I process these type of things is totally different from how these athletes and these sports teams process information. In your mind, you're thinking, well, if I'm earning $30 million a year, that's a very good enough salary. Why would I then need to go and do these things that could potentially get me in trouble later on? That's how a normal person will look at it. But these guys are looking at it from a different standpoint. 30 million is great, but 50 would be better. Right? $120 million contract is fantastic. $160 million contract would be even better. Or $70 million contract, right? And if I can get some of that under the books, then I might as well go ahead. And depending on the orders in which you're watching these shows today, we already dropped the show. Oh, no. Depending on the order, you can even hear NBA players saying that, like Kendrick Perkins and others saying that this is absolutely normal. And they themselves would have done it. And their thing is like, why wasn't this guy protected more by his representation? Why didn't they do their due diligence so this guy wouldn't have to face situations like this if they would occur? And I'm like, what is going on here, folks? This is absolute madness. But apparently, this is what happened. And I'm like, I don't know what to say now in terms of how does it make you feel about Kawhi? Don't make me feel uncomfortable. I used to be a huge Kawhi. I was supporting Kawhi Leonard all the way up to 2017, man. But ever since he got to the Clippers, there's been one disappointment after the other. It's been very difficult rooting for Kawhi. And then after, like, not last year, the year before, I just checked out. I'm like, okay, whatever, man. Whatever. If Kawhi Leonard does well, he has a great season, fantastic. If not, whatever, man. I moved on from it emotionally. It doesn't make any sense to keep supporting this nonsense where a player shows up and he doesn't play and all of that. It's like, I had enough. I'm going to step away from this situation and I'm done with it in terms of the supporting for Kawhi. I'm not going to hold my breath. Is Kawhi going to be healthy this year? I'm not doing none of that. Right? So that's why I am emotionally in terms of a connection to Kawhi Leonard. That's why I'm just like, whatever. We talked about it yesterday. I'm like, whatever. Bit apathetic about it altogether. Right? But you guys let me know what you think, because I think this is devastating evidence here. Let me know what you think in the comments. We catch you on the next show. Peace.